Yo, my friends. Welcome back to
the Nerd Guys podcast.
Today is a good day. You had a good day. You had a good day?
Yeah, aside from the whole my voice not being here from yelling yesterday. Everybody just bear with me. I know I'm usually super excited. I'm going to be as excited as I can be for you all, but currently suffering from a bit of a sore throat from yelling yesterday.
Yeah, so it'll be on low key, but I shall try to be have the energy for the both of us. So what we got today?
So today we got an episode that's been 13 episodes in the making. Or it's 12 episodes in the making?
Yeah, just about. It's kind of hilarious that we've talked about this topic for so long, but we're just getting to it now. And I think originally it wasn't even going to be in the first season.
Yeah, I mean, by now you all know just because you can read the title, but literally the topic comes up every episode.
Yeah, by accident.
Accidentally on purpose.
Accidentally.
Sometimes I bring it up just because I'm like, it all goes back, cause
it connects to Power Rangers, because we talk about Power Rangers sometimes, and then we talk about today's subject.
Yeah.
Because that also kind of relates to a lot of the topics that we usually talk about. The last episode, we talked about Voltron, and well,
yep. And it's kind of common because a lot of Japanese television, both movies and TV series, all kind of are intermingled in a way because they all do similar things. So you have shows like Ultraman, you have shows like Voltron, you have the series that we're talking about. You also have animes like Gundam,
yeah,
Evangelion, and even Digimon, Transformers, all dealing with weird monsters that are giant robots,
heroes versus
villains, good versus evil.
Yeah,
all trying to teach life lessons
and giving you a good time. And what I like about today's topic, which we'll get into even more, is that you can be kind of like Power Rangers, but you can be any age and watch it. But with this specifically, it doesn't hold back its themes and morals, and kind of gets you more into its world and allows you to understand the free expression.
So, if y'all didn't guess what we were getting ready to talk about now, or if you haven't looked at the title below, our episode today is going to be on the wonderful, the illustrious, the action-packed Henshin series. And yes, I said series. Super Sentai.
So this one was my favorite to come up with the name, because I was we often trade off of inspiration of what we gonna call each episode, and this one I was oh, this is perfect. So welcome to Podcast Sentai NerdGuyger.
That was our henshin sound.
I love it.
Henshin.
So we can choose between red and black. Which one you want to be?
I gotta go with red. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But no. I'll be black because today I can't talk that much, and red should definitely be the person who is taking lead. So
I will be NerdGuyger, and Kitsune is BlackGuyger.
Low-key, I'm PinkGuyger.
Actually, that's true. That's true. So let's dive in to the history of our topic, just like we always do. I will start off. It's Super Sentai time. Super Sentai is another long-running series beginning in 1975 and is still ongoing. Created by Toei and Bandai, this series would become so popular that I'm Saban thought to bring it across the sea to become an American series called Power Rangers.
Saban.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of that this episode. Just for a warning.
So yeah, like, most people are like, oh yeah, like, you know, like they get the idea of that, like, oh yeah, of course. But they don't really put it in their head because, of course, like, what they know is Power Rangers. They know Mighty Morphin or whatever. And, for me, I'm like, no, I'm actually glad that I know where Power Rangers came from. Because for the longest time, up until I, discovered Super Sentai, I thought Power Rangers was original. I thought we made the suits and stuff and the Zords and stuff. Like, I thought all of that came from us, but like, I found out real quick that it came from overseas and that it had such a long history. It's crazy.
Yes. I used to think Power Rangers was super original as well. Especially like watching Mighty Morphin, because I grew up watching the Disney era, the early eras, Lost Galaxy, In Space, Time Force, and I thought, man, this is all cool. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, why do some of the scenes seem like they don't really match super well? So I started doing some internet digging and found out, oh man, this was actually adapted from a Japanese series. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what are these series called? Never found the name Super Sentai, ironically enough.
That's interesting.
And this is in, like, the early 2000s.
Ah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
I was on YouTube looking for, like, Power Rangers, RPM, Black Megazord.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, where did these alternative variation of Megazords come from? These aren't real Megazords. Oh, these have to be knockoffs. No, they were. They were just in the original series specials.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I met Jamie that I, learned what some of the names of these were. I found out some of the names prior to, meeting you, but a majority of the series I found out about after I met you, because I got really happy, because I was like, I've been looking for these shows for a long time and have never been able to find them because I don't know what they're called.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's really cool to know that Toei and Bandai came together to create the series.
It's actually like why we were partnered up with Bandai originally when we did Power Rangers.
Yep.
Because of the working relationship that Toei had with Bandai for years. Now you're probably wondering, what does Super Sentai mean? Well, the Super refers to their use of mecha, and Sentai is the Japanese word for task force or fighting squadron.
For those of you who don't know what mecha is, mecha just simply refers to large robots that are used for fighting like dangerous large creatures. Think Evangelion, Gundam Wing, Transformers, stuff like that. Giant robot. Perfect example, because this is like Super Sentai adjacent. Ultraman.
Yeah, Ultraman, Godzilla.
Or like our previous episode from last week,
Voltron. Everything connects.
Everything connects.
Now, when I was doing the research for this, I actually didn't know that their use of super was used for mecha. I just thought super as in like, oh yeah, super, because that's like, you know,
superpowers.
Yeah. So like the fact that means that, I was like, that's really interesting that they, you know, refer to super as, you know, mecha, and then you could put it as mecha squadron or mecha
squad.
Fighting mecha task force.
Mecha squad. Sorry, I gotta get some hypeness. Super Sentai would go on to begin its journey with its first series, Kimetsu Sentai Go Ranger.
Oh, let's go! Give me some. That was perfect.
In 1975, created by the same manga artist who worked on Kamen Rider. For those of you who don't know, we delved into that on our previous episode about Kamen Rider. So, if you want to learn more about him, listen to the previous episode. The manga artist, Shotaro Ishinomori, is the manga artist that worked on the previous Kamen Rider, or the Kamen Rider series. Go Ranger would run for 84 episodes, being the longest running series to date.
Yeah, which is really impressive.
Yeah, because I don't know, they were doing it different in like the 70s and the 80s. They were picking up shows for like 50 to 80 episodes, where now you could barely get 12.
Yo, I'm saying, like, it's crazy, because, like, you know, of course, over here we had like the original Power Ranger series is 3 seasons and 163 to 4 episodes. To anyone, that's like, oh, that's insane.
Yeah, that's a long series.
But look back,
One Piece fans.
But look at back then, like, they were running 84 episodes off of like the fabric that they had at the time, and I think I wrote this in here somewhere. The suits were and the helmets were made out of the same fabric. So think about it, like, and this show went for 2 years. So it was not only popularized by that point, but they were working with basically stuff that they had on hand. It's impressive.
I know, it sounds like a certain podcast that we all listen to. The last series that Ishinomori would work on was the second series, Jacques Denkikai Tai. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
I know it's not Jacques.
It's Jaka.
It's Jaka.
Jaka.
Okay. Yes. And that debuted in 1977. Now, I know something about this series because I remember watching the Once a Ranger episode. Was it the Once a Ranger? No.
It's probably the Mega Force, because that's the only series.
It was?
Yeah.
Mega Force.
That's the only series with that FPs in there.
But
go ahead.
It wasn't that battle. From that episode, I went and found the original.
Oh, the Gokaya episode where they featured Jaka?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do all these Power Rangers, because I called them Power Rangers, have, you know, the symbols, like card symbols on them? And I realized, oh, Jack, Ace, King, and Queen. The Royal Flush.
And their last party member, member is called the Big One. And he's like white, but he has a rainbow on his visor. So he's kind of like the rainbow. He's kind of like the Rainbow Ranger in a sense. I love it though.
I was about to say, he's literally the draw 4 card.
Yep.
So, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, we're going through it, and yeah, please forgive us. We're still figuring this out.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Like I said, the last series that Ishinomori worked on was Jaka.
But due to it not being received well,
yeah,
that was the last series he actually worked on.
Unfortunately.
Which is, it's insane though, because like, I don't know if I've mentioned here in the podcast, but I've said it to Kitsune a bunch of times. Sentai's had like little periods of times where like there were certain series that were not received well, but Sentai managed to bounce back with another series which everybody loved. And it would be the third series of Sentai that would bring everybody back into the fold. Sentai does go through this from time to time. It's a little strange, but like I think what's helped Super Sentai more is Western fans, like fans outside of Japan that love this show. Hey, Titan is here. What's up, friend? Good to see you. You came in just in time. Yeah. Say hello to Titan YouTube. You won't be able to say hi to him until like you get into the comments. But say hi to Titan. He's cool. He's our buddy here, and on the Nerdguyger podcast. I'll give you a shout out, my friend. Check out Titan if you haven't got a chance to. He's a cool Twitch streamer and soon to be YouTuber. He was last playing Liza P. Blah, can't talk. Cool streamer. Known him for 10 years. Cool dude. Go check him out. And you know, you might get to see him here. Now, Sentai is known for his giant mecha, also fighting alongside them. But the first series that would feature a transforming mecha is Denshi Sentai Denziman in 1980. And speaking of Denziman, it is the first series to introduce two things that would be integrated into the series forever. First being the visor would be made of a different material than the rest of the helmet, and the second would be the personalized transforming devices that we know now. In Denziman, they were a set of rings. So previously, in Sentai, they would get into like some sort of apparatus to transform. But like Denziman took it and was like, no apparatus, now a transforming device.
So they got a morpher.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The fact that they were like rings, you might go, that sounds like Captain Planet. It's probably where Captain Planet got it from.
I was thinking more of the Flash.
Oh, true that. I didn't even think about that.
But technically, the Flash was out before this, and it's not really the same thing.
Yeah.
He just kind of like hid his suit in it. So, I don't know, maybe.
Sentai was all about making waves, especially with its fifth series, Taiyo Sentai Son Volcan. Son Volcan is the only official Sentai that features all male members, and being the first series with only 3 members as well.
So it was a sausage party.
Yeah, they had
a sausage fest.
Yeah, it's funny because like
meat market.
Yeah,
It's fan service for female Sentai.
Exactly.
It's Magic Mike of Sentai,
bro. I was like so fascinated by this because I've seen like the clips of Sun Volcon and everything like that. But it wasn't like, it's just one of those things like in passing that you really don't think about until you read about it or watch it and you go, okay. They had a female companion. I'm not sure like what capacity did she, serve, like was she like a part of the team or anything?
Yeah.
But she is like in the credits as a main character.
This is interesting. It kind of reminds me of Ninja Storm in a way, because you have your red, blue, and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow's male. Blue kind of gives me Billy Cranston vibes.
Yeah. Also, this is the first animal-based Sentai as well.
Really?
Yes.
So what were their animals?
Eagle. Is it Eagle, Shark, and Lion? I think it's Eagle, Shark, and Lion. I might have got that one right in one.
Blue helmet definitely looks like a shark. Red helmet looks like a bird, so I can get down with the eagle. And it looks like Wild Force kind of took major inspiration from this.
It's funny because there's a Sentai called Ju Olger that references the original 3, like the original animal-based Sentai.
So, since I'm not super well versed in Super Sentai, Sun Vulcan was the first all-male cast.
Yep.
For Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do you think? Because I get that it's kind of a first because no female Rangers or no female Sentai people. But why is it such a big deal that they're all male?
Because usually the teams before it were all comprised of 5 members, 4 males and a female.
Oh wow! I mean,
yeah. Even in Jaka, that's 4 males and then a female, because the big one is a dude.
Was the female the queen?
Yes. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Battle J Fever, which is I think I don't remember which Sentai it is, but they represents different countries or different different nations at the time. So Battle Kenya, Battle Japan.
Oh
Battle
my god, this sounds like a series I need to watch. You said Battle Kenya.
Yep.
It was an African Power Ranger. That's...
Imagine if that came over here.
Hey, yo. Well, I don't want to imagine it coming to the United States, because... No.
I mean, we already had Zack being the Black Ranger, so it can't get
that could dance. That did dance fighting.
Battle J Fever. Yeah, or Battle Fever, whatever.
Battle Fever J. Battle J Fever.
It's because in the song they say Battle J Fever.
Oh, I remember seeing this Megazord. That Megazord was in the legendary Megazord fight.
Yep.
In the Sentai series.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's Battle Japan, Battle Kenya is the black one. Battle France is the blue. Battle Cossack, and then Miss America.
Miss America.
And of course she's Miss America because she has the blonde wig. And I was like,
the blonde wig with the blue eyes.
I was like, that is fantastic. And I'm sorry, like,
and they
gave her like the supermodel body and everything like that.
They kind of mocked the like Captain America shield in a way.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. So you basically have the United States, Russia, Japan, France, and Kenya.
Yep.
That's cool. I like the way France. You all can't see it, but just look up Battle Fever J and go to the images in Google, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. If you want, we can link the pictures below.
Yeah.
But this is cool because they had. It looks like there are two Zords, but I don't know if that's an enemy.
I think that's an enemy.
Okay, but for those of you who know the legendary Megazord battle from I don't know what Sentai series that was.
Kaizuko Sentai Gokaiger.
Yes, that. You'll recognize it because this is one of the first front-running Zords that was in the whole scene.
It's a part of the first 10, so it's not hard to spot.
Oops, sorry. I'm just gonna drop. I'm gonna drop the link down here so we go link it in the episode. But I'll make sure you all get the link.
But as for like why they specifically chose like 3 males, I'm guessing they wanted to try something different.
That makes sense. Like it's like Batman getting superpowers for an episode. It's something different. Or Superman finding the pink kryptonite. Something different.
Yeah,
experimenting.
Definitely. I think that's pretty cool that like shows like this can still try new things and get like different results. It's really neat. Now the next couple of series we will lightning through the awesome achievements. Kagaku Sentai Dynaman is the first series.
Kagaku Sentai Dynaman.
That was good. It's the first series.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sound, That literally me tapping into like my inner I watch anime all the time.
I see.
Just trying to do the language justice.
It's the first series to change suits material to spandex. Also the first to introduce the Dark Hero character. So like your Tommies, your Trents, your... Is there anybody else?
Yes.
Korags. Well, no,
is that the really. Purple bad guy, good guy from Magic Ranger?
Yeah, I was gonna say him, but not really, because he is just evil.
Well,
we're talking about like people who are ambiguously like they're evil, but they also help you.
So like the Wolf Ranger from Wall Force.
Yeah.
The Wolf Ranger, the Quantum Ranger.
Kind of like anti-heroes characters that either become rangers or just kind of like be an offshoot.
Or the Birdman from one of the most previous Ranger series.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
The one that was like good.
Xeno Wing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was good, but being turned evil, and yeah.
I have opinions about that, but I will save those for later. Chodeshi Bioman being the first series to have 2 female members, because as we previously talked about before, the norm was 4 male, 1 female, and the exception was Sun Volcon.
Right.
Choshisei Flashman was the first to debut 2 Megazords. And...
Wait. So, they were just quickly changing this up. First, Sun Volcon had 3 male members because they broke the norm of 5 characters, 4 men, 1 female. Then Kakagu changed the suit material to spandex from just cloth.
Yep.
Then Bioman said, you know what, we could top that. We're going to give you 2 female characters.
Oh, and I should mention that this is the introduction of the other female member being the White Ranger instead of the Pink Ranger.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I was literally just about to ask, were yellow and pink?
No, it was yellow and white.
Yellow and white.
It was yellow, white, and yellow, white, and pink because yellow was a male.
Yes, and that kind of blew my mind because prior to this episode, I didn't know. I'm sorry, not prior to this episode. Prior to finding out more about Super Sentai from Wild Force, of course, I didn't know that yellow was usually male because in the US they always made yellow female.
Yep. But in Sentai, it's just a normal thing for males to be yellow.
Yes. Also, the female characters were usually depicted by the presence of a skirt.
Yep.
Which is why, what was it? Not Beast Morphers.
Not Jungle Fury, Lord. Dino Fury.
Dino Fury was such a
point of contention for a lot of people
because the female Green Ranger decided not to wear a skirt.
Yep. Even though previously that didn't matter. I'm gonna check my facts real quick.
About what?
About the colors of the. Here we go. I got it.
Okay.
Images.
Tell me about them colors.
So it's yellow and pink. Or no, yeah. Wait. Is it yellow and pink? Or maybe? Yeah, it's yellow and pink. Oh, I'm thinking of a different Sentai. My bad. There is a Sentai where pink and white are on the same team. But it's red, yellow, pink, green, and blue.
Now, looking at this kind of looks like, Lightspeed Rescue.
It's probably where some of the inspiration came from.
Because they definitely look like a intergalactic police force or a police force of some sort.
I think these ones, it might, correct me if I'm wrong. No, that's a different Sentai, isn't it? Yeah, that's a different one. But there's one, it might be the same one I'm thinking of, that the White Ranger's on, where they're from like different planets, and they come to protect Earth or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's always pretty cool. Like, I always like Japanese shows just because they always have really interesting out there concepts. Yeah. And that's what always draws me in.
It's what I like about Super Sentai is it's always outside the box. Like, I love Power Rangers, but when I realized when I was a kid, watching Mystic Force being my favorite, and it not having magic and fantasy, like it has some of those things, but not. It was more of like, oh, they hang out in the store that they work out. It's like,
yeah,
or they hang out at Root Core, which is cool because Odana's there, but like they don't do anything.
They're kind of like one-dimensional when it comes to being characters, and that's where I feel like Sentai versus like the limited amount of Sentai I watch versus the massive amount of Power Rangers that I watch. And we could debate about this till we're blue in the face. I'm talking to everybody that's going to be typing in the comments, but I personally feel like Power Rangers writes their Ranger characters a little bit more like two-dimensional, whereas Sentai isn't afraid to give them depth. Like in Don Don Brothers, for instance, how the Pink Ranger, the Flamingo Ranger, I like calling him the Flamingo Ranger.
Oh my god.
Is a scared nerd.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, he has a super hot wife.
And he's super nice too.
And he's really in love with her, but he's wondering, he's like,
am I enough for her?
Yeah, like how did somebody like me wind up marrying such a great person like that?
Yeah, and I love that about him.
Yeah, or like how the Black Ranger, the little lone wolf ranger,
oh, I love him too,
is a character that is mysterious and a little bit ominous and like offsetting only because he was falsely accused of committing a crime that he didn't commit.
And like something about Tsubasa is like he's just a cool dude. Like he's just a normal, regular, cool dude. He's kind of like someone that you would definitely be able to be friends with. But the only reason why like he's not able to like keep friends is like you said, he's on the run.
Yeah, and as crazy as it sounds, like on top of that, like when they were going back into his past.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got you.
He literally was just a really kind, like a really cool dude. Just a really kind and really nice. And then, you know, it shows how life can just make you jaded in a sense where you're like, I don't know who to trust. I can't put anybody else in danger because of something that's going on with me. But at the same time, I have to prove my innocence.
And I'm looking for help. I want someone to understand where I'm at, but like it's hard for me to invite those people in.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not sure if they're going to rat me out. Like I'm having trouble trusting myself, which means that I'm having trouble trusting others.
Exactly, which is ultimately not two-dimensional. It's not just like, hey, I'm just a dude that likes doing karate and I hang out at the juice bar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a guy that likes dancing and I incorporated dancing into my fighting style.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like those types of things were like cool at the time, you know, because it's the 90s. However, think about, you know, a situation from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I can tell you 10 more from Super Sentai that are way more impactful. Even stuff that's like, quote unquote, silly. Because I know some people look at Super Sentai and they're like, oh, well, there's, you know, the doggy, he's like a plush toy. Okay, but if you actually watched it and seen his character, you wouldn't think that. And it's because his character has depth. He actually feels like a real police commander, despite the funny look. And what's the most important thing is, we get to see as much of him as we get to see of everybody else.
And they do really good character development with Sentai, like as opposed to Power Rangers. Power Rangers is really, in all honesty, to me, like especially in recent years, feels like more of a cash grab for selling toys rather than, hey, we actually care about it. That's why I'm like looking forward to Cosmic Fury in a sense, because it seems like, you know, I don't remember
Billy?
Well, I was trying to remember what his actual name is.
Billy Cranston.
No, like the actor's name.
God. David Yost.
Yes, David Yost. I was way off. It actually seems like since David Yost had something to do with the series, he cares about it, so he actually wanted it to be good. And Hasbro's the one that that has the rights right now.
Yeah.
They seem like they want to revive the series, not just for money making purposes, but to actually make it something special. but they have kind of a long way to go before they reach the Sentai heights, if you know what I mean.
I definitely agree, and like one point I'll give to Hasbro is they actually made me care about everyone in the Beast Morphers cast just because of the way they wrote each character. Zoe and Nate are my favorite couple in Power Rangers because they actually build their relationship and they don't do like the generic stuff. Like they go over like stuff that would happen in a relationship with like Zoe beating Nate's parents and like the whole business over relationship thing. Like that's something that happens in the story as well. But what I like about that is that the two characters grow separately and together. And that's what I wanted from Power Rangers, because like anyone that knows about relationships in Power Rangers knows that like most of the relationships are kind of like Joelle from Lightspeed Rescue stalked Professor Mayweather the entire series and like kept like hitting on her when she was like, nah, I'm not into you, but she ended up marrying him.
So you thought I was feeling you? You thought I was feeling you? I was feeling you.
And it's like, that's the most wild thing ever. Or if you want a recent example, Jake and Gia. Jake likes Gia. But does Gia like him back? Don't know. Oh, Jake likes Gia.
That's what always kind of like pisses me off about Power Rangers versus Sentai. Power Rangers is always afraid of getting into like a little bit more quote-unquote adult topics, whereas Sentai is kind of like, yeah, this is for young adults, less for children, more for young adults, but the family can technically watch this.
Yeah.
Whereas like US TV government, for some reason, it censors everything so much that it feels like they're afraid to expose children to real life situations, but they wind up getting exposed to this stuff anyway just by the stuff that's running on TV.
I can tell you that there's an episode of Sentai that like did a twist on addiction, like kind of a funny twist on addiction, and like once I realized, like I picked up on it, but then once I realized how they were like handling it, I was like, wow, this is deep. Like, yo. I was not expecting that from the, like, I was not expecting, especially because like that was like my first time around watching Super Sentai stuff. Like I was not expecting to see some of this stuff, and like we haven't mentioned it, but like some of the previous seasons of Sentai, there were members of it that died. Like they were killed by the enemy or died in an accident in a Megazord battle or something like that. Like Sentai goes hard.
I gotta watch some of these episodes because like, or say series, because literally I've never actually watched a quote unquote children. Let me stop saying children's show, because Sentai seems like it's more for like people of all ages. Like it's just a show, a drama, like All My Children, like a soap opera for people to watch. Whereas here in the US, we kind of boil it down to it's a kid show because that's who the target audience is.
And like that's why like people go with, oh, well you can't criticize it because it's a kid show. It's like, no, I can criticize it, and I will criticize it. Now, speaking of Ranger deaths, the next Sentai that we're going to talk about is Koryu Sentai Zyuranger, which that name might sound familiar to all of you.
All fours?
No, because that is one first. The first series to have a regular 6th member of the team. And Zu would be the first Sentai brought to America to be adapted to become...
We can't actually have the real song, but you know, go Power Rangers.
That's right. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came from Koryu Sentai Zyuranger, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers would not adapt just one season of Sentai, not 2 seasons of Sentai, but 3 separate seasons of Sentai. So it's Zyuranger, Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger, and Ninja Sentai Kakurenja.
Yeah, that's where they use the power of ninja.
Yep. And your favorite, if you love the Alien Rangers, guess which Sentai they're from?
Alien Ranger Sentai?
No, Kaku Ranger, the one that I mentioned before. So all the Ninja Zords that you're familiar with, and the Shokin Zord and Ninjor, yeah, they're all from that series. And what was wild for me, first watching Super Sentai, is I watched that and I was blown away. I was like, wait, they have their own, like, world. Like, to me, it was like, they have their own world, they have their own setting, they have their own villain. By the way, the villain is Master Vile, Rita's dad.
I don't remember what he looks like.
Go look him up. I was on the floor because I was like, there's no way.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. He was the
Rita's dad.
Yep. He was the main villain of Ninja Sentai Kakurenja. And I was like, what? You've got to be kidding me. I'm like, so this is where we get him from? Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble trying to understand how all defined that was Rita Repulsa came from Master Vile's nutsack.
Oh, no one knows.
I'm sorry, magic sack came from his magic sack.
We don't even know who Rita's mom is.
Some poor soul that he just happened to come across.
Hey, yo, I'm saying. Yeah, so, if your mind was blown today, put it in the comments. I love talking about that, especially my experience with it, because, again, we talked about it once before, but, like, Power Rangers was just what we grew up with.
I'm sorry, yeah, like, the more we talk about Super Sentai, the more I actually grow to dislike Power Rangers, just because I'm like, they really did a poor job adapting the TV. Like, for the time, yes, it was good, but like the level of storytelling from Sentai versus the level of level of storytelling from Power Rangers, 2 completely different things. And like, this is where I start getting upset, because like, as an adult, now I have to call myself an adult, but as an adult, these shows from my childhood, I always wish that they would like grow with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm invested, and our generation is the generation that's like super invested in buying stuff from shows that we like, that were super nostalgic.
Right, yeah.
But it seems like companies just don't understand that you can cater to us just like you can cater to children.
Yeah.
And just because kids are more likely to whine and go, oh, Mom, Dad, I want all this, Power Ranger stuff for Christmas. That's fine for Christmas, but who do you think is buying it the other 364 days out the year?
Yeah.
Like, collectors. nerds like us.
Yeah.
Like, again, I have my Mighty Morphin Megazord sitting on my bookshelf behind me. I have my Pink Ranger Morpher from Mighty Morphin with all the other power coins sitting on my bookshelf. I have Cureno sitting on my bookshelf, along with a GTR that has a Red Ranger livery and a Green NSX that has a Green Ranger livery from Mighty Morphin, as well as my 3 Morphers. We buy this stuff and we are willing to pay, as you already know, as like Hasbro. It's either Hasbro or Bandai. I don't remember who released like the last Megazord that was like, I don't know, $150 or something like that. But it was like the die-cast one that came out like maybe a couple years ago. I think MMPR Toys did a unboxing of it.
I think that was Hasbro because they were doing Lightning Collection stuff, and they brought back the original like Dino Megazord with die-cast, which is what people have been asking for years, because Bandai would not do it. They would do cheap plastic, wrong stickers, you name it, Bandai did it.
Yep. And here's the thing. It's all fine and good that you bring back toys, but you all need to listen to the fans and give us our own show. Like, yeah, you write comics, and the comics, they get real. But, come on. Shows, anime, we're into all of that. That's the generation of adults that you have now.
Yeah.
And y'all just aren't listening.
Here's the thing, like, I know Hasbro is working on an original series, but the thing that, like, I will say is I want them to wait. And the reason why is because it's not because we've been adapting Power Rangers for almost for 30 years. That's not the reason. I think it will be easier to transition Ranger fans out of what they're used to the original stuff slowly. Because if you just throw Ranger fans into some original stuff, and like there are rumors of them like kind of doing a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers thing again, that will kill the series 100%.
It'll be season 2 of Voltron all over again.
It will not want. That will make people not want to watch the show because like you didn't do anything different.
Not season 2 of Voltron, season 3 of Voltron.
Yeah.
Where they tried something different and it literally got canceled before it even aired because the pilot it wasn't received well with fans or the control group of people.
Yeah. I think when it comes to like having original Rangers, I'm here for it. But my biggest thing is we cannot do this without some precautions. Like, this will not work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sentai openings and closings. Theme songs, if you will. I know you have a playlist that has a medley of Power Rangers themes. I know this because you've played it so much that I literally hear the Power Ranger theme song play into the Lightspeed Rescue theme song, play into the Lost Galaxy theme song, and that's the only way I can hear them now. But what are some of your top picks for this Thai theme song?
So I love Juken Sentai Geki Ranger, and that's there's a shout out for Titan because that's one of his favorites as well. Juken Sentai Geki Ranger's theme song is so good. I actually listen to that in the gym to like hype myself up, and I think you'd like it because it's a martial arts based Sentai, and it's basically Jungle Fury but Sentai.
Yeah, I still have to. I still have to check out that. I gotta check out that series because like I've been slacking. I really want to check out some of the Sentai counterparts. Like personally, I like Avatar Sentai Don Don Brothers, but my favorite out of the limited amount of Sentai that I've watched is Q Rangers.
Yeah, you need to. I want you to finish Q Ranger, but I want you to watch something like. That's why we're watching Sentai in the Discord.
Yes.
To like get people who haven't seen it to see it, but also like, I would like for you guys to experience what I experienced, which was, you know, for Magi Ranger. Yeah, that's a good point, Titan. Geki Ranger is what Jungle Fury should have been. That's true. The reason why these things are said is because for Magi Ranger, I had said like Mystic Force should be more magical, more whimsical, more fantasy. What's Magi Ranger? That. Thanks for the pin, friend. It's that. Geki Ranger. So, you know about the triangle of discipline in martial arts, right?
Maybe. And this is bad because I'm like a super big martial arts fan.
So like the triangle of discipline is, you know, the 3 different principles that are followed in martial arts. And
I had to look it up.
I don't know if
All right, just explain it.
So basically, it's 3 different not styles, but like disciplines. So you got okay, whatever. You have mind, body, and soul.
Okay, yes.
So you train the mind, you train the body, and you train the soul.
Yes.
Jungle Fury doesn't do that. In fact, they probably only mention it once, and they don't even mention that. They mention it like something completely different. But what's even more to this for me was when I watched Geki Ranger, that's exactly what I got. Plus, it was a situation where they didn't really play around with this concept. They actually took it seriously, and each one of the characters, like, there are the masters. You remember the Jungle Fury masters?
Yes, I was very upset that the bat, the elephant, and the shark were not actual rangers but spirits.
Yeah, that's something that, like, I think they were...
No. No.
What?
No. No, you can't explain it away. The damage is done.
No. I'm saying this. I think they were, not clever. What's the word I'm looking for? I think they had a good idea of making them rangers, but my problem was, 1, why do they have to be spirit rangers? 2, why isn't that they aren't training students themselves to become rangers?
Especially since across the pond there was a ninja academy, and across the pond from that there was a samurai academy.
Yeah, like if you tie all the lore together, we have the samurai that have been around for like 18 years, a ninja school that's been around for hundreds of years,
the lightning ninja school that broke off from the original wood ninja school.
Exactly. Like there's so much lore here that you could have like done with, and you were like,
Now let's throw it all out the window.
Let's just have it be this secret, organization that kids go to. It's weird.
Yeah, that's usually what kind of like threw me off about Power Rangers, and I feel like we're a little off topic, but that's what kind of made me a little miffed with Power Rangers when it came to Power Rangers vs. Sentai. The first couple seasons were all interconnected. One led into another, which led into the other. But after a while, they kind of like fallen off from that. And I'm like, why not build a universe?
And that's the crazy thing is Sentai does that in the most subtle way. And it's what I talked about in the Kamen Rider episode where they team up, they have handoffs, like there are specials. Like the worlds of the Sentais and Kamen Riders are so interconnected. It's like, oh, like yes, they're telling their own story, but it's like just in the same world. And there are like maybe a couple Sentai that aren't in the same world, but they do end up teaming up with the previous team and then the team that comes after them.
Right.
So the tradition 1 continues, but 2, you do get a chance to be like, oh my god, who are they? Or, oh my god, I remember them.
It's almost like the good, the bad, the ugly.
Oh, yeah, now we're gonna talk about...
But it's not that we're going to. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
But
this...
Sorry, go ahead.
This is a segment that I came up with because I was like, this would really be good to talk about, and like, since you haven't watched a lot of Sentai, it'd be a good way for me to kind of like convey some of these Sentai to you.
Yeah.
So the good, the bad, and the silly. So I have here in parentheses are like examples, but like without looking at the examples and without like really thinking about it, what do you think is the good of Sentai? Like which Sentai, just like maybe of ones you've seen, or maybe
Q Ranger, Don Brothers.
Yeah, you'd be right, because those are fantastic. Now the bad.
I wasn't super into Magic Ranger as much. I was trying to be, but it's just
because it's the beginning.
Okay,
It's beginning.
That's what everybody always says, but yeah,
it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's
very slow.
Yeah, it's a slow burn.
Yeah, and once you get into it, you'll be like, ah.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Trying to think real hard about Sentai series that I saw.
Any of them that you would think that are similar to ours that you would think that are bad?
Oh, okay. So,
maybe that'll help you a little bit better.
I was about to say, if we're talking about, like, Sentai counterpart of Power Rangers, if I went off Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Which one would you, like, think would be bad? And
Operation Overdrive.
Ooh.
Samurai.
Ooh.
Mega Force.
Okay.
Super Mega Force.
Okay, alright. And now the silly. What do you think could be like a silly Sentai?
Avatar Sentai Don Brothers.
Yeah, that's a good point. And
Q Ranger.
I never thought about it, but no, that's fair.
He had a Pegasus Battleizer.
I mean, true, but I don't know.
That literally like hopped him all over the place because he couldn't control it, and it was sentient.
Yeah. So, the good.
Oh, the good, real quick. Never seen it, but literally, Titan talked about it, and you've talked about it.
Oh, Bakuru Sentai Aba Ranger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Still on my to-watch list because I need to see...
Abare Killer?
Yes.
Yeah, Abare Killer.
Because, to me, Trent was a phenomenal character. And that was just ruthless.
And Titan will tell you, once you see Abba Killer, you're like, who's Trent?
Yeah, Trent who?
Trent who?
You're like, oh, that's why that guy turned good in the end. But this guy, Nah,
They did
man.
Trent so dirty.
100%.
Like, you can say that right now without seeing it because of the way that you've seen Dynamite Thunder.
Yes.
Like, already they did him dirty. But, like, me watching Abba Ranger, I was like, so basically we got the dumbed down, watered down version of this guy.
You got the kitty version.
Not even the kitty version, bro. Like, he's the dollar store version of Abba Killer.
Oh, you
Yeah.
literally just said he's
It's
the
that
off-brand toy version.
It's that bad, bro. Like, it's not as bad as some other characters. Like, you mentioned Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, but Samurai Sentai Shinkenger is much better than Samurai. And, like, I had hesitations going into it, naturally, because I watched I watched Samurai and Super Samurai. But I ended up coming out of that series going, wow, this is good. Like, not even just regular good, like, good. So that's one of the good. The bad being, in my example, Chorinki Sentai O Ranger, which is the Sentai counterpart of Power Rangers Zeo. The reason why it's bad is it wasn't received well because it was another military-based season, and, you know, previously they had a bunch of those. But on top of that, the characters were kind of like one-dimensional, and they were kind of like the captain, like the Red Ranger. He was, he was the nice guy. Everyone relied on him. He was super reliable and nice and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, whatever. The Blue Ranger, mind you, military-based season, is the irresponsible one. Now, think about that for a second. Why would you want to have an irresponsible guy handling military-grade weapons?
Yeah.
And it bothered me so much because it wasn't even like he was that irresponsible. Like, a dude in an episode stole his morpher, but it wasn't his fault. But they were like, oh, you're irresponsible, you shouldn't have, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he got blindsided by this dude that was trying to kill him. What do you mean? Or there's an episode where, he gets, not jealous, but he wants to pilot his own Zord.
Right.
Because the Red Ranger got the Red Battle Zord. And the Green Ranger, like, got permission to, like, drive it too. So he was like, oh, I want my own to, like, help out. And they were like, oh, hey, there's not another Zord, blah, blah, blah. And this is where Barra Wooden comes in. Because...
Who?
Barra Wooden is the monster I told you about before, which is the robotic monster made out of wood.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
Yes.
There were some scientists working on like a wooden Zord called Wood Robo, and the Blue Ranger got excited. He's like, oh, I would like to like test pilot it. And they were like, oh yeah, we would love for you to test pilot it. And they were like calling him a kid, and like the others was like, oh, that's kind of silly, blah blah blah, don't get carried away, we wouldn't be able to use Wood Robo in battle because XYZ. And I'm like, bro, y'all hate me.
I feel like this is just silly at this point.
No, Shōriki Sentai is bad because it's brain melting. The first 13 episodes are actually good because it deals with the O Rangers battle with like King Mondo. After that is an episode about the Pink Ranger and her being saved by this dog god. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot you all can't see my face. I look very confused.
Yeah. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I can't talk about the other thing that I've mentioned to you before on the podcast, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
What's the silly?
Hikonen Sentai Akiba Ranger, which is an unofficial Sentai.
Why unofficial?
It wasn't made by Toei or Bandai. It was made by a separate group, but they did have some actors come in, and there's a lot of like jokes and references to Sentai. And this is where, like, you remember that Instagram post that you sent that like had the yes, that's where the American Ranger. That's where that came from.
Really?
Yes. That's exactly where that came from.
What?
Yep.
Oh, now I have to watch it.
I love this series because it's so ridiculous. There's the villain is a female villain, and like I'm not gonna lie, Chad, I was simping. I'm sorry. I have a type.
Yeah, wow.
She was yeah, right there. Go down, right there. That's her, right there.
Right there?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, you got me. You got me. I'm sorry. This season has series has 2 seasons. I say that the first season is better than the second, just because the magic is in the first one. Yeah. The second one kind of like is a little bit more crude to me than the first one.
Yeah.
But
so it's literally like the One Punch Man of Sentai, where it's a Sentai about making fun of Sentai.
Yep. It's fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna talk about both those. You want to bring up our next topic?
Power Rangers versus Super Sentai. It's a debate that always comes up. We all know that Super Sentai is better, but specifically Operation Overdrive versus Go-Go Sentai Bukenger.
Oh. Now it's time. I was holding myself back, but now it's time.
Operation Overdrive is the worst, poorest excuse for a Ranger series. While it looked beautiful, aesthetically, it was pleasing because Disney did their thing.
They held their thing down.
They did the darn thing. That thing was thanging.
That's right.
But we have 2 villains. One hot, one cold. Literally the Miser Brothers.
Yep.
Searching for a crown.
Yep.
That has untold power. And the person that helps the Rangers is literally the spirit. Or no, not the spirit.
He's the one that protects the crown. Yeah.
The crown. But it's Excalibur.
Yeah.
On top of that, the scientist...
hold on. The Adventurer?
The Adventurer,
Yep.
Yes. The Adventurer that recruits all the other Rangers has a son. And gets mad that his son steals the morpher that was meant for him. His son turns out to be an android. And when he finds out, everyone's super shocked.
Yep.
And I'm like, why are you upset if he's a robot and you know he's indestructible? And then the Black Ranger is played by a black guy.
Not only that, but hey, what is up, Sonic Class Riot? What is up, my friend? Welcome in. If you are not familiar with this fantastic gentleman, his name is Sonic Class Riot 1025. He has a wonderful lounge with awesome positivity power. Let's give it up for Sonic Class Ryan! Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, I wish we had the Sonic ring sound.
Yow!
Because that would have been great. We're progress.
We're getting there.
Now that we're back, I'm going to continue my rant. Like I'm saying, the Black Ranger, which is played by an African American dude with cornrows, is a thief.
In real life.
In the show and in real life. So the show was just kind of all over the place.
Listen, you did very nice justice to it because I'm about to tear this show apart.
No.
Go
I'm
ahead,
not done yet.
Go ahead.
And then toward the latter half of the season, the two villains. Can't speak villains. The two villains, the Miser brothers, are overshadowed by a third guy that comes out of nowhere and basically tells them, yeah, that crown that y'all wanted, y'all can't have it. It's mine. And you're going to listen. And then they go run into the Rangers like, yo, what are you going to do about this guy?
Oh.
Sorry, like, kind of bugged me.
Alright, are you guys ready for me to go off? I'm ready.
Ask one more time.
I'm ready to go off. So, along with what you just said, the reason why Operation Overdrive, it's not the worst series of Power Rangers. Let's just...
We'll save that for Samurai. Megaforce. Yeah.
Megaforce.
Ninja Steel.
Nah, Megaforce. I'm sorry, not even Ninja Steel can beat Megaforce when it comes to terrible quality. But Overdrive is bad because this whole thing about the Corona Aurora it's a clever puzzle type of thing. Like, they're adventurers. They're supposed to be collecting the jewels to go on the crown to to get this wish to either save the world or whatever. Okay. But the bad thing is, the geography where all of these jewels are. Yeah, you forgot about that. Is terrible. Like, so bad that they mentioned Florida for one of the jewels, and it's in mountain ranges. What mountain ranges do you know are in Florida?
My mind is saying the Everglades, but I know that Florida is flat.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Florida don't got no mountains or hills, but not like, you remember the mountains from like Ninja Storm?
Yes.
Yeah, like those. Not like those.
So doing some fact checking, some of the mountains in Florida are kind of in. Well, it's literally only one that I see. It's called Sugarloaf Mountain.
And how big is it? Or how deep is it?
It is 95 meters tall.
Yeah, the mountains that they mentioned in the show is no.
They look more like Colorado instead of Florida.
Yeah. The dialogue. These guys are like at least 20 because they don't like say that they're in school. Like, none of them are in school because like Ronnie's a racer, so she can't be in school. Will, we mentioned, he's an actual thief. Rosa, she's like a prodigy. Dax is a stuntman for movies.
I actually like that one. I thought that was pretty cool.
So about Dax. He's just a dope. Like, it's sad. I used to love Dax because I was like, oh, he's kind of like an unsung hero. And then I realized, no, he's just an idiot.
Well, no worse than the Green Ranger from SPD.
No, Bridge is kind of like intuitive. That's different. Like, he's stupid smart. He's like Goku. Like, he's dumb, but when he actually puts his mind into something, he can actually come up with something brilliant.
Okay. Can I quote the theme song?
Sure.
Watch. 5 Rangers reaching for the sun in 5 ways. 5 heroes walking through the sun for 5 days. Dark forces lurking, leaving evil where they roam. 5 Rangers looking for the same 5 stones.
This is a hip-hop song, by the way, if you haven't heard it. This is what I guess would be considered rap, because like Mystic Force had the kind of bopping it hip-hop for their theme, so Overdrive was like, we can do that, yeah. I don't know if I should say if I don't hate it or not, but it's not the worst theme in Power Rangers. That award goes to RPM. Power Rangers RPM. But yeah. What else? What else can I mention? So you mentioned about, our real boy Mac. What I liked the most about his reaction was it was genuine. He was upset. He thought he was real. He thought he had a mom. So I was like, no, this is accurate. If I found out that I wasn't real, I would definitely be pissed to find out I was robot and that all my memories were fake. But the way they played it off was, oh, well, your dad didn't really mean to, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
no, he intentionally didn't tell you.
Yeah, that's not any better. And then the coup de grace of what makes this series so bad is they literally had to have an episode where the Rangers retrace their steps to find the last jewel, but in that dialogue they forgot how many they had, and Mac referred to himself as a $6 million DVD player. So
more than $6 million DVD player. I imagine it was something like that.
He was a little bit more jovial towards it, but it might as well have been like that. But you mentioned also Florius Moltor, and then of course the other villains, the Fear Cats, Mirtrix and Camdor. By the way, Camdor is Mirtrix's master, right? Do you remember how he got out?
No.
Will was infiltrating her ranks to get information about the jewel, but ended up failing his mission and then releasing Camdor. It gets worse. It gets worse every time I tell you that, every time I mention something, it just gets worse, doesn't it?
Yep.
But Will isn't penalized. He isn't they don't have a serious talk with him about his action. Nope. Same thing that happened with Dex. Dex literally leads Miratrix into their base because he has a crush on her because she's like into disguise or whatever. And she grabs the scrolls of Neptune. And literally, to get them back, well, one, the team is like disappointed in him, but apparently like Andrew Hartford decided to just give him the Cluck Zord or whatever it's called to get all the scrolls back. So he was rewarded for being dumb. So yeah, Operation Overdrive is a good, like, it's an okay oh crap, I forgot to mention one more thing.
Go for it.
One more thing before we move on to
one more thing.
Bokenger and how awesome Bokenger is. Once a Ranger. So, once upon a time, Rita got pregnant somehow and had a baby boy named Drax. And for some reason, he was the enemy of the Sentinel Knight. And also for some reason, that happened 10,000 years ago. And he was also trapped in a space trash can, just like his mother. He got free one day and decided to gather all the villains of Overdrive and attack the Power Rangers. And his plan was to hit them where it hurts most. The Power Grid, which in Overdrive is just some weird hallway with tech in it. Disabling their morphing, the Power Rangers are driven back. So Andrew Hartford had to, ring up some friends and called upon the services of Adam, Tori, Kira, Bridge, and Xander. And the five of them would form a team to face off against the Legion of Doom. Now, the Rangers, feeling kind of, disheartened, decided to go back to live their regular lives. So Will went back to stealing, Rose went back to the school, Ronnie went back to racing, Dax went back to being a loser. Sorry, a stunt double. And Mac just stayed at home because that's what he was doing before. But then they all had this epiphany that they all missed helping. Basically, most of the way through this special. Oh, did you think that we would get to see these new Rangers face off against the villains? No, that didn't happen. No, we weren't privileged enough to see that. Nah, not the cool stuff. They all came back because they all felt guilty. And just in time when, Adam went back to Angel Grove with the gang to go get Alpha 6 or 7, I think 6, to fix the power grid, which he did. And then we get the team up of the Overdrive Rangers with the Once a Ranger cast.
So, what made the Sentai counterpart better? Because we talked about how Operation Overdrive was trash compared to Sentai, but in
this specific instance?
Yeah.
So, Boken is the Japanese word for adventure. Or, sorry, adventurer. Adventurer or adventurer. This team is a specialized team working for this company called Surges, with SGS, but they say Surges, and they are tasked to protect these special items, which are called precious. The reason why it's better is because they literally, like, none of these pieces, none of these, like, special items lead to each other. So it's not like the Corona Aurora. And two, they're all specific, and for one of them, there's a set of precious that are under the name Godam. And Godam is like an ancient race in the series, and one of the villains is from that race. His name is Gaja. I love him. He's so good. What separates these two seasons is the way that they handle it, because we've talked about how Sentai does its story, but then two, the command, like the Red Ranger, he has his own backstory, which is deep and really, like, close to heart. And the Black Ranger, he has this dark, mysterious past. The Yellow Ranger, she's like super special, and like when you get to realize her story, you're like, oh, what? The Pink Ranger, you get to find out what, where she came from and like why she's so capable. The Blue Ranger, he's a spy. Like his previous job was a spy, and he did some things. And then there's the Mercury Ranger, which is Boken Silver, and his backstory, I can't even talk about that because that's a spoiler. But I love this Sentai because it made me go, why didn't we just make the Operation Overdrive Rangers adventurers?
Because we're not allowed to take concepts and just copy them, because then people aren't going to be happy.
I mean, even though we essentially did that with Samurai, but but yeah.
Alright. So, what are some of your recommendations for people to start watching Sentai?
So if you're a Ranger fan like us, I would advise you to watch like a series that you might have not Mighty Morphin. Don't go watch Zoo Ranger just because I'm telling you to watch a series you're familiar with. I'm not saying Zoo Ranger is bad, but I'm just letting you know, like, that don't just have it towards that. I would say, Zuden Sentai, Koryuger, it's one of my favorites. Tokimei Sentai, Go Busters. I would not really like, for me, this is my favorite, but it's Resha Sentai Tokyuger, but I would not recommend like first timer because it really kind of depends on if you like trains and imagination. And I know those two things are very specific, so even Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, which is the 35th season of Sentai, like, because you'll get to see most of the like Rangers you're familiar with, plus the ones that you weren't familiar with. And like when when I watched it for the first time, I was like, oh my god, that's Wild Force, and that's Dino Thunder, because I didn't know their, Japanese names. It wasn't until I found out. But yeah, that's what I would go for. And a quick mention that the next series of Sentai is Bakuage Sentai Ban Bomger, which it looks like it's going to be very interesting. I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be like. Alright. Yeah, this was good. I'm again, this is just another one of these very passionate episodes, and I'm so glad that we get to do this, and there is more coming. So if you like this kind of thing, just stick around. You'll be able to get more of this kind of thing coming along with the ride. But that is it for us this time. Make sure you follow the Nerd Guys on all the socials.
Links will be in the description below.
Make sure you check out some of the Sentai and throw in some Sentai that you like, or if you've watched Super Sentai before, some of your recommendations. We'd like to hear it.
Put them in the comments.
And most importantly, make sure you take care of yourselves. And it's been fun. I've been Jamie Shadow 9.
And I've been Kitsune Sai.
And we are signing off.
Nerd Guys, out!